In today's video, we're going to talk about FHA loans and why you should not be afraid of them, why it may be an absolutely amazing tool for you to use to get into your house with as little as 3.5% down. FHA loans have been around for a while. They kind of get a bad rap sometimes because they have something called mortgage insurance. We're going to give you the details on what that is, and we're going to get after that right now. If this is your first time to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. Tap that bell for notifications, and we'll make sure to keep you up to date on all the current happenings in and around Bend, Oregon. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm the leader of the Grossman Home Team at eXp Realty. We get calls, texts, emails, and Zoom requests every day from people like you, and you looking to make their move to Bend, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, go ahead and pick up that phone, send us a text message, send us an email, or sign up for a free Zoom consult, and we'll make sure to make your move as smooth as possible. So as I mentioned before, let's go ahead and talk about FHA loans. So as I mentioned earlier, we're here with Garett Myers today from Elev8 Mortgage, and Garett's going to talk to us a little about FHA financing, a little bit about what rates are currently doing, and just a general feeling of where interest rates are and some new options with FHA that you previously may not have thought about. So Garett, as usual, thanks for jumping on the channel with us today to talk to our clients about what financing is available for them.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me as always. FHA is a really cool program, and it's going to be even more popular over the next year or two as there's some changes kind of in the mortgage market that are going to make the FHA loan more attractive to first-time homebuyers, but also people who aren't first-time homebuyers.
Why would it not have been attractive to folks in previous years? Like was FHA frowned upon? Like et cetera. What generally?
FHA is commonly referred to as a first-time homebuyer loan, which is not necessarily true. But some of the things that have always been attractive to an FHA loan is slightly lower interest rates than conventional loans. The one thing that really is attractive about FHA loans for first-time home buyers is the ability to put less down and do more with it. Oftentimes, FHA loans have higher mortgage insurance than conventional, but that higher mortgage insurance is actually a fixed rate. So in past, FHA mortgage insurance has been 0.85% of the loan amount, which on a common purchase here in Bend, Oregon is probably anywhere from $200 to $300 a month in mortgage insurance. Comparing that to a conventional loan that can be higher than conventional loans if somebody has good credit. Good credit would probably be 720 credit score and above. 720 credit score and below on a conventional backed mortgage would actually have some higher mortgage insurance, as conventional loans are a sliding scale of mortgage insurance based upon your credit score. So with the FHA loan, it kind of brings some stability into that monthly MI payment with a lower rate for some of those lower credit scores.
And if you're not familiar with what mortgage insurance is, mortgage insurance actually benefits your lender. It's in case you default on your loan, then they don't get stuck holding the bag, basically. So not a whole lot of benefit to you. However, the biggest benefit is FHA allows you to bring less than 20% down. And, with home prices in Bend being, a basic house. We did see one come up the other day for, under 400, but, like that's super, super rare. So we're looking at, 5, 6, 700,000 for the average person. And, 20% is a heck of a lot of money to bring in for anybody. What is the loan limits right now on FHA, Garett?
Yeah, in Deschutes County, actually, loan limits for FHA loans go up to 690,000.
So that's pretty good, right? And that's all in Deschutes County. So that's not just Bend. That would be Redmond. That would also be Lapine, Three Rivers South, looking into Deschutes River Woods. So, at that price point, there is quite a few things available. And, I get the question all the time, hey, what kind of first-time home buyer programs are there? Well, that's something that comes from the past, because really there's no super special deals that come for first-time home buyers, but FHA would be considered a first-time home buyer loan because you don't have the 20% down. You don't have equity from another house. And so, that was the way I bought my first house, was a FHA loan. And correct me if I'm wrong there, but 3.5% is the minimum you can get down, right?
Correct. 3.5% down on an FHA loan.
And so 3.5% plus your closing costs, which a lot of times we can get the seller to contribute, you can get into a house right now. If you're paying rent in Bend, Oregon or around Bend, Oregon, and you're spending $2,500, $3,000 a month on rent, which is not uncommon, that's just what rent is, then you're not too far off from being able to buy a house. And in fact, if you go to rent a house right now, you need the same kind of qualifications to buy. They're going to ask for bank statements. Your money is in the bank. You're going to have to give first, last, as well as a deposit and possibly a security deposit, which could well equal the same amount to buy a house. So think about that. Should I give this money to a landlord that I'm just going to use this house, or should I use it to buy my own house? And there's definitely housing that is available right now. There's not such low inventory levels that you can't find one. It is low inventory levels, but that's coupled with a little bit higher interest rate. Therefore, they aren't selling as fast. So people just aren't listing their house right now because they don't think it's going to sell. That's kind of what's happening. So Garett, when we were talking, you were mentioning something with the FHA loan that is recently changed. So what is that?
Yeah. So previously we kind of talked about mortgage insurance monthly for FHA loans being 0.85%. They actually just reduced that to 0.55%. So that's 30 basis points or 0.3%. Really what that equates to is about on a $300,000 loan, it's about $75 a month in lower monthly mortgage insurance for FHA buyers, pretty much starting today, this week, February or March 10th. This week that went into effect. So on an average loan amount in Deschutes County, about 400 to 500,000, new FHA buyers this year are going to save anywhere from $100 to $150 a month in mortgage insurance over last year.
So that's awesome, right? Because if you're coming to 3.5%, you're going to have mortgage insurance. But here's the coolest thing: like, we still expect, and prices are still, equity is going up, right? Like, prices might be lowering or coming back to more realism, but that's not always the case, because houses are still coming up. The median home price is still $800,000-$900,000, so it is still up there. But as the equity increases in your house, you can refinance out of your FHA loan, typically with very little money out of your pocket, and get rid of that mortgage insurance. So the FHA gives you an amazing opportunity to get into a house right now when there's deals to be had. That's what people are getting confused on, is like, interest rates are so high, I'm not going to get a deal. That's actually the exact opposite of what's going to happen. Because interest rates are a little higher, there's more negotiation room on the buyer side, which, for the last couple of years, we haven't had much room to negotiate. You come in and say, hey, I want to buy a house and here's my life insurance policy. Let's go $100,000 over asking. I'll sign my life insurance policy over to you. And, let's hope for the best. That really doesn't happen anymore. Every time, once in a while, a unicorn house comes up and they sell quick over offer, but multiple bid situations are probably a thing of the past, unless it's that super, super rare property in Northwest Crosby and Tether Row, something like that. So, we bring this information to people to talk about different opportunities. Garett, helps finance many, many homes a year and has been doing this for a long time. I've been in the business for 20 years. So, I have helped hundreds of people buy and sell houses. The average person in a lifetime only does this 3 to 4 times. So it's natural to have questions and, not understand the process, no matter how savvy you are, what you watch on the news, or, a lot of that information is filtered through different wants, beliefs, and what they want you to believe. We're giving you the actual truth. FHA is a solid loan. There's no reason to be afraid of it either. Like, some people will say, well, if I get an FHA loan, I'm not going to get approved. Like, right now, sellers want you to make an offer on their house. It doesn't matter really what the financing is. As long as you have a good quality local lender, like someone like Garett, then your offer isn't going to be looked at any differently, unless I said, like, it's that super, super unicorn property, and all that kind of stuff. But like, those are few and far between. So, what other kind of new stuff is happening right now? Like, what are interest rates doing right now, Garett?
Yeah, I mean, recently we saw an uptick from January and February into March here, but actually today, March 10th, with the jobs report that just came out this morning, we just saw interest rates, kind of see some relief again today. So FHA rates right now, you're looking in the high 5s to low 6s. If your lender's quoting you 6.5% to 7% on an FHA loan today, please reach out to me. As a mortgage broker here at Elev8 Mortgage, we're able to reach out to 25 to 30 different wholesale lenders that want to provide a very competitive rate and term to you as a buyer, especially for these government-backed FHA loans.
Yeah, because keep this in mind, folks. people that are selling loans are selling something, right? They are selling a product, right? So there's going to be different ways to do it. If you go to your local bank or your credit union, nothing against banks or credit unions, but they're loaning the money themselves. So their rate is what it is. They can't shop around, but it's not like buying a car. So that's where people get confused, is you're not going to go in and have your credit score pulled 17 times. What does that look like, actually, Garrett? When you pull your credit score for a mortgage, am I right that you can actually use that credit pull for 3 to 6 months? Am I right?
Yeah, credit reports are typically good for 90 to 120 days, but one of the biggest benefits to coming to me as a mortgage broker instead of a mortgage bank or a wholesale bank is I'm kind of the intermediary. I'm able to pull that credit, look at your application and decide what the best loan structure and maybe what the best lender for you is without you having to go and visit, 10 different banks. I can shop those different banks and those different products for you in-house with one credit report and one application to find, the consumer the best, lowest rate and best product for their specific scenario and their goals.
Yeah, I mean, so if I'm understanding you right, if I want to buy a house and I want to do it in Oregon, I can come to you and you're going to make it easier for me, because I think that's what a lot of people want. Like, who out there wants to have a hard time buying a house? Like, I haven't heard that, ever. Like, hey, let's make this as tough as possible. I want easy. Like, I don't want, I want to go and I want like, hey, here's my situation, Garrett. This is how much money I make. These are my bills. And then he comes back to me with a solution. Like, hey, this is what you do. And then Garrett will call me and say, hey, Josh, this is what Joe and Tammy can do. Joe and Tammy are qualified to buy this much money. Go find them a deal. And then I go to work, with over 20 years worth of actual negotiating experience. That's something that's very important too. Like, not all people in this business are created equal. Not all people have a very fluid sales background that are experienced with negotiating contracts. And that's what you need to be right now. If you want to get a deal, don't just pick up the first thing. Interview people, interview mortgage brokers, interview real estate agents, find out who's going to vibe with you the best and like who is going to actually fight for you. I'm actually listing a house next week that unfortunately the person that sold these folks the house didn't have their best interest at heart. And now they're in a bad situation. They have to sell it a year and a half after they bought it. They're probably going to lose money on it. And it all could have been saved by if the real estate agent would have just simply thought to themselves, hey, is this the best decision for you? Because I will absolutely tell you, and I know Garrett will too, that, hey, this isn't the right time for you to buy a house. These are the things you need to get in place, because, we could slam you into a house, but that doesn't create a good, long-lasting relationship, and it's not the best for you. So Garrett, I know we didn't really talk about your company, and I know you didn't mention your NMLS number, and I know that's a big deal. So give it to us one more time, where you work, phone number, your NMLS number, and how someone gets a hold of you if they want to talk about FHA loans, USDA loans, ODA/VA loans. There's so many different loans out there, you guys. It's not just, hey, give me 20%. What does an investment loan look like? Are you an investor? Are you looking to invest property? What's your cash on cash return? Those are all things that we can walk through you with to make sure you're making a good decision when you buy your house in or around Central Oregon.
Yeah, definitely. My company's name is Elev8 Mortgage. Again, my name is Garett Myers. My NMLS number is 2041420. You can give me a call, shoot me a text or email, 503-698-7724. Garett Myers at Elev8 Mortgage.
And everything is on our website too. Garrett is my official lending partner. So sellingoregonre.com. You can browse all the listings in and around Central Oregon. You can get contact information for Garrett. We have blogs, we have the wealth information, as well as we have our YouTube channel. So the information is out there, you guys, for you to follow and along. And this is not high pressure. This is about us giving you the proper information so you can make the right buying decision when you're looking for a home in or around Central Oregon. So thank you very much for joining the channel today, watching what we have to say. We absolutely do this stuff just to give you guys the information. We already know this stuff, right? But we want to get the information out to the general public so you can make a better decision when you are purchasing a home. Thank you very much for watching. Joshua Grossman, the Grossman Home Team at eXp Realty, and we'll see you around town.